Barack and Michelle Obama's personal chef passed away in a paddleboard accident close to their Martha's Vineyard estate. He was in the background when Obama appeared on the Today Show. Barack Obama was the first president since George Washington to make alcohol in the White House. During a one-on-one phone call, Obama's chef reported that Martha's Vineyard might drown, plunging it into chaos. I say haphazardly because it appears that no one actually knows the full details of what happened to the man. After all, as in many other cases involving former high-ranking officers, it appears to have been on a need-to-know basis. Nevertheless, news organizations appear to have recently learned the circumstances surrounding this man's death and how it even occurred. And let's just say you might be more than a little shocked by their discovery. You shouldn't just take it from me. You should also consider how much attention the news has received. Also, trust me when I say that you don't want to miss this death. While tragedy is commonplace in the world, especially in government-related fields, this death was an exception because the victim wasn't old or sick. It just seems that he might have been at the wrong place at the wrong time. Or is that even the real story? Well, according to details from some news outlets, a former White House executive chef who was missing for 9 days has been found dead. The professional chef for former President of the United States Barack Obama passed only a few days ago in what is thought to be one of the biggest catastrophes the family has ever had to deal with. The guy discovered dead after a paddleboarding accident close to Barack and Michelle Obama's Martha's Vineyard house has been identified as the former White House sous chef for the couple. Safari emergency personnel were called to Barack Obama's home after Campbell, 45, went missing while paddleboarding on Massachusetts' Edgartown Great Pond on Sunday evening. Campbell's body was found on July 21 by divers after going missing in the pond that backs onto Obama's sprawling $12 million estate. Tafari was a treasured member of our family when we first met him. He was a skilled sous chef at the White House, according to Michelle and Barack Obama. Tafari was married with 19-year-old twins and one of the best chefs in the White House kitchen. In the years that followed, we got to know him as a warm, funny, and extraordinarily kind person who made all of our lives a little brighter. Because of this, when we were getting ready to leave the White House, we asked Tafari to stay with us, and he graciously agreed. He has since been a part of our lives, and although the tribute from the former president's family is indeed heartfelt, we are all devastated by his passing. One of those who fit this description wrote on the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, "I would volunteer to make a cake, but even being a good swimmer, I don't want to drown in 4 feet of water." Today, Tafari Campbell would have made a cake for Obama's birthday, but someone took him paddleboarding instead. The issue with this interpretation is that Campbell is said to not have drowned in 4 feet of water, but rather in double that depth, and we are all aware of how deep that is. When the news of Campbell's death first broke, many media outlets claimed that Campbell didn't know how to swim. In fact, there was an Instagram post of him with the hashtag #StillDon'tKnowHowToSwim for the original report. While the pond has an average depth of 3 to 4 feet, and the chef was recovered in waters roughly 7 to 8 feet deep, Procopio confirmed Monday, while the person might have been incorrect about that part of the story, there are still other aspects to it that seem a little bit fishy, like the fact that reports are saying this man died in 8 feet of water. Obama's summer home is located in the vicinity of Turkeyland Cove Road. One of the numerous details of this incident that many have been discussing on social media as being confused is how someone who had recorded his swimming with backstrokes, proving that he did know how to swim, could have perished in 8 feet of water abroad. The existence of another person at the pond who might have witnessed the tragedy but was unable to assist is something else that many are unsure about. When paddleboarding, there are no waves, no weights, and no other people around. No one knows what happened to the other man because it was late at night and they were with another male. But let's go back in time a little to start. Campbell played golf at the adjacent Farmnet Golf Club on numerous occasions while visiting Martha's Vineyard. Police were first informed by witnesses on Sunday night that a guy later identified as Campbell submerged surfaced for a moment while struggling to keep afloat, and then did so once. More at 7:46 p.m. when a 911 call came in from the Obamas' Martha's Vineyard home on Turkey Land Cove Road. A massive joint agency search was launched. The former president and first lady were not at their residence at the time. Pat asked, "If you're not home, is your chef your personal chef, hanging out at your house and swimming? And is Albert hanging out your house when you're not there? What would I'm not the police? What would I'm not the police? What would I'm not the dispatch stated that there was an Edgartown fire and water rescue." Following the call, personnel checked Turkeyland Cove Road for a 40-year-old man who may have drowned. Chief Alex Schaefer of the Edgartown Fire Department told the Vineyard KZ Island police and firefighters conducted door-to-door searches. Firefighters also searched the pond's shoreline. On foot, the search efforts resumed Monday morning for the venerated chef who was last seen wearing all black. Without a life jacket, his paddleboard and hat were recovered Sunday, and his body was found around 10 a.m. Monday in the 8-foot deep waters approximately 100 feet away from shore. What social media users are asking now, however, is how difficult could it have possibly been for the witness to have hot paddleboarded or swam to where Campbell was if the man's life was on the line at the time? I mean, that pretty much seems to have been the heroic thing to do, and it might have even saved the man's life. This is also why some are inclined to believe that this accident might have allegedly been a move orchestrated by the White House. The reason this perspective even holds some level of water to it is the fact that Campbell isn't the first accidental death that has happened to a White House chef. Hillary Clinton, I guess, had the same not a swimming incident, but didn't one of her chefs pass away? This guy, he died by drowning in 2015. It's just a strange coincidence, plain and simple. In 2015, a former White House chef's body was discovered in the New Mexico mountains following a week-long search, and those same sources stated that his cause of death was drowning. On June 13 of that year, Walter Shave embarked on a solo hiking expedition, and his body was discovered off the Yerba Canyon hiking route, close to Taos in northern New Mexico. He served as the White House executive chef under Presidents Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, after first catching Hillary Clinton's attention at a West Virginia resort at the time. State police said that after a protracted search, rescuers discovered him submerged in a mountain drainage that was flowing with runoff. Medical examiners ruled the 61-year-old's death as accidental after police saw no signs of foul play. The details of how he died, however, were not released. After an autopsy, the medical examiner reports, according to the New Mexico State Police. Speaking of medical examinations, another aspect of this latest tragedy that has sparked some controversy online is that she drowned and his death was ruled an accident. According to the news, there are a handful of people throwing baseless accusations about the former president having his own personal physician carry out an autopsy on Campbell's body after the tragic incident, but a statement from the Massachusetts State Police says that the state medical examiner's office, and not anyone's personal coroner, performed the autopsy. They also said their investigation found no evidence the death was suspicious. While this does prove that the claims about the former president's physician being involved are false, it does nothing for all the other wrinkles in this case that have left people endlessly asking questions about the seeming pattern of White House chefs dying. In fact, there are even allegations online that the chef might have been writing a book to expose some of the secrets of the White House, and how that may have led to his ultimate demise. Well, considering how closed off the investigation has been, you could say people's suspicions just went from 0 to 60 in seconds. and they've been vocal about it on social media. We'll learn if there was more to this death in due course. That concludes this video. One person writing about